Guys, how we doing, man? Listen, we're not going to talk about the Bayern Munich game in this one. Hugh's done his reaction, and I'm sure we'll speak about it tomorrow morning, all three of us on the stream. So if you want to speak about that, go to the Hugh video or wait for tomorrow. Tonight, we are speaking about Jude Bellingham because there is some breaking news coming out during the game, actually, which was quite frustrating, about Jude Bellingham, bro, and his future and one of the clubs that are in for him.
I mean, luckily there was more news afterwards, so we still got that stuff to talk about. And we kind of, it was frustrating as the stream's going on. I kind of wanted to talk about the Jude Bellingham situation, but not at the same time because I knew that we'd be doing content surrounding this anyway. So we thought after we finished the watch long, why not tonight? I mean, a bit of a late one. Obviously, depending on where you are in the world, but a bit of a late one. We can switch it up here and just have a look at what's going on because it's big news. And it ain't just, this ain't no like, Joe, when we do these streams and you're like, oh, what's the sauce? Oh, why are you using Blue Moon Form as a sauce and all this? It ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. This is legit.
Yeah, no, it's legit news and it's quite interesting what is coming out. Bellingham is a humbler, said Hugh. Hugh should be here, man. But the guy's internet is playing up.
Yeah, he got no Wi-Fi in it. Also, Saeed's there, bro. It ain't easy. It was funny as well because that picture of Grizz when he's like, I found a picture of Bellingham, which is exactly the same. I was low key. I was on edge of putting Grizz in the thumbnail, just like to bait it even more.
It's mad. It's mad. Right. So what's going on, Bray? What's the news here?
So Paul Joyce, very, very, very good source. He's basically their version of Jack Gorn, is the way that people usually say it. He's come out and said that Liverpool are basically pulling out of or going cold on the Jude Bellingham transfer. Short version. I'm not going to read the whole thing in it. Short version is basically that the cash involved for Liverpool to sign Jude Bellingham, and it's something that we've alluded to quite a lot when we speak about Jude Bellingham, is it's too much money for one player when they need a rebuild of the midfield. So they're going to, there you go there. They tried lowballing it, didn't work out. They go, nah, it's in a bit. We're going to go swerve that, and we're going to invest money, I guess, in their sense, more wisely.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the first. Obviously, it was Paul Joyce first, and then it snowballed.
Yeah, because we had the news, didn't we? Come out, was it this morning or yesterday, that Liverpool have made an £84 million bid for Jude Bellingham? Which
I think it was today. At some point.
Yeah, it's just today's been like such a fucking long day.
Yeah.
And we was all like, 84 million. Like, what the hell? Like, that's a lot lower than what we thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? We was expecting another 50 million on top of that. And then you get this news coming out later on. I mean, it's a very, very interesting and coincidental that news of the £84 million bid, and then following that news that Liverpool have pulled out. It's very interesting. I find that very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because it was Paul Joyce who also said last week that it was their number one target. But then maybe they've just misread the situation completely, or thought they could lowball it and get him for around £84 million. But it's very strange to the news of the bid going in today, and then you're thinking, right, here we go. This is the start of it. This is the start of it, and then it's just going to go. I mean, the bids will increase and the bidding war begins. But that's not happened. It's basically, they bid the £84 million, and it looks like they threw everything they could at that deal that they were willing to go for. And I'm going to guess and assume that Dortmund just turned around and was like, where's the rest of the money? So Liverpool went, okay, no, never mind, this is too much. I genuinely just think they've been priced out of this deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I always thought it was strange. I always thought it was strange that Liverpool were in for Bellingham because, as we've mentioned many times, and you sort of alluded to it a minute ago, Liverpool need much more than Jude Bellingham. Much more. They've never spent anything like £130 million on a player. You know, they've spent like 80 million. You know what I mean? So this would mark a big jump. And to be fair, it would mark a big jump for City. the max we've paid is 100 for Grealish. It's still a 30% increase on our biggest ever transfer. So it's a big club for both, but it's bigger for Liverpool. And Liverpool need a lot more than Jude Bellingham. You know, I've said all along, if Liverpool just get Jude Bellingham this summer, I don't think that makes them title challengers next season. I don't think it gets them anywhere close. I think they need a lot of investment. So I never really understood Liverpool going for him, unless they were going to be bought by a new owner, who of course has deep pockets, and then they can invest in it and maybe put 200, maybe 300 million pound down in one summer. They can't do that, Liverpool. So I always thought it was weird. However, having said that, we all know that, you know, Jude Bellingham's dad wanted him to go to Liverpool. Maybe he wanted himself to go to Liverpool over City anyway. And there's always been that sort of doubt in our minds about whether or not we would be able to get him away from Liverpool. But the facts are the facts. You know what I mean? What's coming out today, or yesterday, as it technically now is that Liverpool are not going to be signing Jude Bellingham. Unless this guy's got it all wrong and everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon, which I think is unlikely. Liverpool are not going to sign Jude Bellingham, which is interesting, bro, because I've just been on the bookies and Liverpool are still favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. You can get Manchester City at 9-4.
That's pretty mad.
Which is kind of crazy, really, isn't it?
Zohib there does make a good point. He said Liverpool cooled interest in Nunes too. He also did cool interest in Alisson when they signed Alisson ages ago. But this very much feels like a few sources have been briefed by someone or the club to say like, look, this ain't happening. Because it's not just like one source coming out of this and then it's just a story that's randomly out of nowhere. You've got multiple sources coming out with it now, and it does seem to be pointing all in the same direction. And it's not just like you're getting the bottom of the barrel like journalists who don't really know much. You're getting the top donors coming out there, and for people who trust Fabrizio, he's also come out. He's also come out at 10:30 saying it.
Yeah, and sorry, David Ornstein said this a couple of weeks ago.
What that
Liverpool were not favourites anymore. And that Liverpool had sort of like... David Ornstein come out a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? Because we did a stream, and he basically said, like, Liverpool ain't looking likely. But then, like, literally days after, we got, like, loads of Liverpool sources come out and say, nah, it's still on. And it kind of just got swept under the mud. But David Ornstein, who we consider one of the, if not the most reliable journalists in the game, doesn't mean he doesn't get stuff wrong. He came out weeks ago and said this. But then it all just got swept under the carpet because Liverpool journals come out and was like, nah, it's still on, Liverpool. And in fact, it got such to a point where I actually thought last couple of days, I've not really seen many City journalists. When I say City journalists, I mean journalists who report on City. I've not really seen many of them really speak about Bellingham. Over the last 24, 48 hours, I'm seeing so many journalists of Liverpool.
Same.
I'm seeing all the Liverpool aggregators come up on my timeline saying, Jude Bellingham, decision in the next 24 hours via RVB Dortmund or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, like this is just all Liverpool. I'm being bombarded with Bellingham news and it's all coming from Liverpool. And they're telling me that I'm going to get a decision in the next 24 hours. It must be that he's going to Liverpool.
It stunk of it. It stunk of it going to Liverpool. But then curveball is that this has come out now. Now, whether or not it's a case of they're coming out now, Liverpool, and giving their reason, obviously they want to go for 2 to 3 midfielders, not just one midfielder, or if it's a case of Jude Bellingham's pick City and they're saving face a bit, going, no, we're not going to go into this deal because we want to move and look for other midfielders, because that's what clubs do. Look at where we handled the Ronaldo situation. City were firmly interested in Ronaldo. We wanted to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, but then when he chose United, the club then has to backstep and try and save face.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Yeah, or Madrid, Carl says. Yeah. Madrid is still in this. Like, that is something to note.
But apparently they don't want to pay 135 either. So they don't want to
match anywhere near it. So it seems like City just in the driving seat on this, and no one's gonna even touch it. Which is it's crazy. It's just crazy that this happened today, especially because I was like you, bro, and I think we've been speaking about it as well over the past like couple of days, not really on streams, but like I've just been kind of thinking, I think they've got it. I think Liverpool have signed him. That's the situation. Did you just say swept under the mud then, by the way?
No, apparently so.
Go on, David. Swept under the mud. That is funny. Oh, it's too late. You can't be throwing that at us. Metaphors under the carpet. Under the lino.
My metaphors are in the carpet.
Yeah, but I think it's just before we carry on. By the way, just before we carry on, Dave with the 2 said, "Yes, Bray, welcome back, boys. Yes, Dave." And Pac-Man with the 2 also said, "£84 million. They tried to buy a Lambo with Ford KA money or Ford Cap money." Yeah, that's basically it. That is basically it. Mm-hmm. Daniel says Liverpool have offered 50 million Jordan Henderson and a packet of hobnobs. That's funny. Is that packet of hobnobs that Arta guy? That's definitely him, and he's made of biscuits. I think it was pretty. It's been a pretty wild afternoon, especially with the fact obviously we're during a game, then all this comes out, but it's it's good. It's concrete stuff. It's not just we're going off dead sources here. It's not like we're just searching the internet looking for something to talk about. This is why we called it an emergency live stream, innit? Like, we don't have one of these for ages. This is legit. This is legit. So it's looking like now his options are basically. Well, I did see before that Chelsea and PSG apparently are interested, but
he's not going to go Chelsea, is it?
No, he favours
the only way he goes
United or Real Madrid. Apparently, I don't know, City or Real Madrid. Sorry.
Yeah, the only way he's going to go Chelsea if they pay absolute bank. If they pay 500 grand a week, 600 grand a week, that's the only way he's going to go there.
I don't see him going there anyway. I don't see that being a thing.
Because Fabrizio Romano as well, he tweeted, I know he said this, but I just go through exactly what he said. Fabrizio Romano tweeted earlier. He said Liverpool have cooled their interest in Jude Bellingham, as reported by UK media tonight. No bid, as Liverpool will no longer work on this deal on the current conditions. Package worth more than £130 million, now considered too expensive. Liverpool are going to sign 2 to 3 midfielders in any case. Again, Liverpool can't afford 2 to 3 midfielders if they sign Jude Bellingham, and that's their problem. Mm-hmm. And Fabrizio confirming that they've pulled out as well.
Yeah, it's actually wild, man. And obviously, Grizz is going to get cooked on the big 6 this week because he's been giving it the big one. I feel for him in that, and it's never nice being the in though, especially when it doesn't go your way. But I still have this air of uncertainty. Mm-hmm. There's just something so weird about this deal that I have this air of uncertainty in my head. I kind of think. I kind of think that it's us, but then there's also the little. I have doubts, man. I just have doubts that Liverpool, watch out, and then it's Liverpool again. The way that this keeps twisting and turning, bro. I just get I get gas for it, and I get confident in us signing it. But then 2 days later, all the aggregators will be talking about different things. It'll all be Real Madrid next or someone else next. You know what I mean? Then I'll be like, oh, he's going there. It's just a bit weird. It's the weirdest transfer saga.
For me, though, bro, I think now, whatever happens, I think you can rule out Liverpool. Because Ornstein said it, this Paul Joyce guy said it, Romano said it. It doesn't make sense for them. It doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't make sense as a footballing project. It just doesn't make sense. So I think now Liverpool are out of the race. Real Madrid, we've already had news coming out over the last couple of weeks that Real Madrid will not pay the same money that City pay. So they don't want to go up to the 130. So where are they at? Because if they're at 120, it's one of them, innit? You know what I mean? If you're at 120, you're gonna go to 130, right? You're not gonna miss out Jude Bellingham over 10 million.
Over 10 million pounds.
So if they're not willing to go to 130, I would imagine that they're quite far off. So who else is willing to pay the cash? Chelsea will be willing to pay the cash. Is it going to go there? PSG probably be willing to pay the cash. No one in Germany because they can't afford it. They're all skint. Same in Italy. So I'm not saying he's coming to City. I'm not saying I see him coming to City. I think that we will now sign him, but I think that Liverpool are out now. With Ornstein, to be honest with you, we should have paid more attention to Ornstein a couple of weeks ago.
And to be fair, I felt it feels like it was only me and you paying attention to it.
I know, it's very true. But I feel like we should have then, when all the news come out after that, we should have been like, yeah, but Ornstein said this.
Yeah, we should have backed it.
We should have backed the man.
Should have backed the man, the goat.
The man, the myth, the legend. That is David Ornstein, you know, but doubts crept in. But this is what transfers do.
Yeah, today is just weird though. Like the fact that they bid £84 million and then it must have just been instantly rejected, so that's why they pulled it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that £84 million a bid that did they realistically think they were going to get that, or is that something to just like appease the fans to say that yeah we tried? Like it just seems like a weird thing because we all know the price is nowhere near that. If they speak to Dortmund and have been speaking about this deal, they know that the price ain't £84 million. Because Dortmund have been very, very full on about it. Zohib's there says Patrick Berger said no bid went in. So maybe it wasn't a thing, but
but Janaj Forchoff, that guy, said a bid did go in.
Yeah, he's saying that a bid went in.
I think a bid went in from Liverpool, but I just think the bid from Liverpool was really low. I think the bid from Liverpool was like, this is what we can afford. And then Dortmund were probably like, well, see you later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just don't. It never made sense for Liverpool. It really didn't. It really didn't. And they'll move on now, and they'll do what they actually should do in the first place and go and get 2 or 3 midfielders, which is what they need to do. And I mean, one thing I would say, if there's any Liverpool fans watching, I mean, I wouldn't really see your ass that much. I mean, Jude Bellingham is a good player, but like, he's not world class right now. He's still got levels. The reason everyone wants him is because of potential. That's the reason everyone wants him, because he could go on to be a Ballon d'Or winner.
You invested in stonks, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not at the level Haaland was 12 months ago. You know what I mean? He's not that caliber of midfielder that Haaland was a striker. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Probably not even in the top 5 or 6 midfielders in the world right now. But the fact is, he could be number 1 in a few years.
That Patrick Berger, he's actually come out and said more stuff on this. He said, this is what he said. He said he can't confirm rumours on Liverpool haven't sent an official bid, so he's just saying he can't confirm that. He says both sources are saying it's untrue. Still no decision made with Liverpool. That was 3 hours ago, though. And then he's come out an hour ago, and he said Liverpool can theoretically afford the 150 for Jude Bellingham, but they want to spend money with 2 or 3 midfielders rather than just one, which is, again, what we keep talking about, what Fabrizio said, what everyone's saying. Big squad rebuilding planned from this summer. And also he said Liverpool won't be in for Jude Bellingham. They're out of the races. They can't meet the £150 million price tag because of that reason, because they want more than one player, because they know they need a revamp, not one guy. They need basically a full midfield revamp if they want a chance at things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. And that's why it never made sense, didn't it? But they were obviously in for him. They clearly wanted him. And the fact is, right, but I've said this about everyone that's going around at the moment. As Lazuli there says, Bellingham is not worth 120 million. He's not worth 130 million. He's not, right? But that's not how transfers work anymore. That's not what happens. When you sign anyone under 25, that's not how transfers work. You have your core fee. So what's Jude Bellingham worth in today's market? I'd probably say he's worth around 60 to 70 million quid. Honest opinion, maybe 80 at a push. But then what happens is, because he's only 20, they add the potential. The
potential of what he could become.
It's potential tax. And it goes, boom, slam it on the end. You know what I mean? That's what happens. And once you get older, the potential tax goes. And that doesn't exist no more, right? Then you're just paying for, boom, or you're paying release clause fee, right? So he's not worth that money, but everyone knows, right? Whether you want Jude Bellingham at City or not, everyone knows that Jude Bellingham has the potential to be the best midfielder in the world in a few years, right? I don't think that's an outlandish statement. I think that's pretty fair, yeah? He's not now, but he does. So that's why you paid a 120, because you could get that. And that's just how transfers work now.
Yeah. That's it. It's looking at the potential of what he could bring to the side, and obviously it turns nowadays. Look at the market; it's big cash nowadays. It's heavy cash nowadays. Hence why I reckon City will be paying 120 mil minimum for Jude Bellingham. I mean, if they can work a way of doing it, they might be able to work a different way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? With a few add-ons and that, I'm not sure, but it'll definitely be big cash. 05 yes, but a 1090 says, see sign Jude or nah. It's looking that way, mate. Hopefully,
It's looking good.
Hopefully.
But the links to Manchester City are still
still minimum. The only thing I see is Matteo Moretti, or whatever he's called, which
true.
Yeah, he came out and said that we're now favourites. But then I don't know. I mean, it's not really. It's hardly news, is it? But then a while back,
not according to the bookies, though.
Yeah, the bookies aren't saying that. Yeah. We heard though a while back that Madrid can't, like you said there before, bro, that Madrid can't match the price that Dortmund want either. So it is pretty mad. Farhad, yes, says Farhad with 729 says next week breaking news: Liverpool close to signing Jude. Yeah, mate, honestly, with the way this transfer is going, wouldn't surprise me. I
don't think they've got the cash for it. And if they do, the impression that we're getting is that they can't sign no one else. What? So if they do that, they won't challenge for the Premier League next season. They need more than Jude Bellingham to challenge for the Premier League, in my opinion, next season.
I just don't understand if the Jude Bellingham thing, if this wasn't true that's coming out now, why is it suddenly coming out from all sources? Like we said before, it's like when you get briefed about something. That's the situation that we're finding ourselves in. Austin King with a 2 says whoever's birthday it was today must be on cloud 9. Oh yeah, GG. I can't remember the name. I know if I see it, but it was their birthday today, or yesterday. Must have been a mad one, that winning 3-0 against Bayern Munich, which is sick. Snooker Stones with a 2 says you seen Sky Bet new Bellingham odds looking good. Oh,
well, man, I'm a Paddy Power and Paddy Power have not updated, man. They're being slow. I might have to slam some cash on this, you know.
Odds checker, Hugh just put in our chat, and he's just put it. It's 5-2 now for Man City on that. Real Madrid second favourite 7-2, and then Liverpool 4-1.
Yeah, they've gone right out. Yeah, fucking Paddy Power being slow on this. You can still get Man City at 9-4. Put a tenner on it, you get 32 quid back. And it's seeming likely at the moment that City are going to sign him.
That's mad. That mural there says it's 2-1 on Sky.
Wowza. Paddy Power's sleeping, man. Paddy Power's sleeping out here.
Wild, man. Pool betting on themselves so they can afford it. Yeah. Anna Zohi there just says Paul Joyce is top tier. Henry Hart with 1 month. He says Henry says if we sign Jude Bellingham, would that guarantee Gundo and / or Bernardo leave to make space? If one had to go, which would you want it to be?
The first answer to the first bit is yes.
Yeah, one's leaving. Sign Jude, one of them's leaving. Bernardo's so good, yeah, but I'd want Bernardo to go because he doesn't want to be here. Yeah,
it's a question I ain't going to answer that because it's too difficult, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's difficult. That's a difficult one, bro, because they're both playing really, really well.
Oh, they're both smashing it.
Gundogan's having a great season. He really is. He's top season. Yeah,
but
again.
Then Bernardo goes and pulls out one of his best performances in Manchester City.
But then Gundogan's a bit older than Bernardo. So do you think about legs, age?
But then do you think about who actually wants to be at the football club?
True. Although I have said I have a weird feeling about Bernardo. I think he might be coming to terms that no one wants him apart from Manchester City.
That he's not wanted in the football world. No one respects Bernardo so like they should.
Nah.
Don't get the respect out here. It's mad. You said it in the stream before. Like how did no one pay like the £60 million that we wanted for him? How is that not a thing?
I told you why it wasn't a thing at the time. It's because he didn't have the stats.
The stats, innit? People don't watch it. They just look at the numbers.
Yeah. I called it for years. The reason no one's paid the money for Bernardo Silva is because people look at his numbers and go, "The guy got to score goals. He don't get assists. What the fuck does he do?" And you try and justify that to like a finance director or the sporting director and say, buy me Bernardo Silva for 70 or 80 million or whatever it is. And they go, but he don't score goals.
Yeah, what we're paying those cash for?
Now we know as City fans what he does.
What he brings to the side, isn't it?
Because we watch him every week. But I genuinely think he's very underrated across the footballing globe.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he's been...
I think I about that. Reese Kennedy with a 5. Yes, Reese says, late one, lads. Hope you're good. City sending shockwaves throughout the football scene. City's I die. I know. Battering Bayern Munich 3-0. Favourites now to sign Jude Bellingham. Things are popping off.
Things are looking healthy, man. Things are looking real healthy, man. And it's we just got to keep our feet on the ground and see what happens, isn't it?
Very true.
Don't get carried away. Although it's difficult not to.
Kieran Early with a 5. He says, might be a stupid question, but where do we play him? He's not a direct replacement for Gundo and Rodri, and KDB have the rest of midfield sorted.
I think he plays in the Gundo role.
Yeah, I think he plays Gundo role. I think we have KDB, Bellingham, Rodri. I think that's how we'd run the midfield.
The main difference is, though, I think he plays a little bit deeper than maybe Gundogan does. I think he plays deeper and joins the attack. I don't know, man. He's a player that's very versatile, but he's not going to be a Cam. He's not going to be number 8. You know what I mean? He's not going to be Kevin De Bruyne. I think if you want a Kevin De Bruyne replacement, you're probably better off going for James Maddison, truth be told. He's a player that, for me, it's got to be box to box.
Yeah, I think the Gundo replacement is how I always see it.
Yeah, so I think Gundo, but just play a little bit deeper and try and... Yeah, I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting one because he's so versatile and he can kind of be played anywhere in midfield.
What about where Stones is playing now? Well, Stones would still just play in that same position. He'd just... do you take Gundo out of the team and put Jude in? Or do you mean having Jude basically in that thing? Because the thing that you've seen today is that Stones did drop back into the defence quite a lot. I don't think I'd want Jude Bellingham as a centre-back.
No, but what about Rodri? Could Rodri drop into a centre-back?
Rodri could do that. Rodri that could then, yes.
Swap them.
Yeah, he could be the one that drops.
But then you've got Jude Bellingham in a CDM position and not Rodri.
CDM, yeah, and then you're losing out on everything that Rodri, like, look at him today.
Exactly.
You lose everything that Rodri brought to the game today, basically.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but luckily it's not up to us to decide that. Pep Guardiola's got to find a way.
I mean, if we're after him, there's clearly a reason that we're after him. We clearly see somewhere that he'll fit into his side. While you're doing yes with the 2 says, boys, I don't think Judy's good for us and for 120. I think if he comes to City, I think he'd be good for us. And I do think there'll be a lot of stake. Do you know how it's taken up until now for people to... I feel like it's really taken up until now for people to respect what Jack Grealish does for the City side. Look at him today. He's sick again today. He's got this consistency. I feel like if we have that with Bellingham, I think people will do the same thing. They'll be quick to judge and quick to be like, nope, not worth it.
Because people unfortunately like that. What the people have to understand is that this kid's 20 years old. He's never played in the Premier League before, ever. And he's still relatively inexperienced at top level club football, right? Dortmund probably get to a couple finals, semi-finals. I don't know if he's been to any. He's played at a semi-decent level for England, of course, a good level, I suppose. But he plays under Southgate, so it's a bit different. He's coming into a team where he's going to be put under pressure. He won't be put under as much pressure as maybe Jack Grealish because you've still got Kevin De Bruyne in there. And he doesn't have to perform at a super high level for the team to get victories. And if the team doesn't get victories, it's unlikely that you're going to look at Jude Bellingham and go, oh, it was his fault. Sometimes when we lose, we look at the wingers and go, they didn't fucking do anything. They didn't score. They didn't do no create no chances. You don't really look at Gundogan and go, Gundogan didn't create no chances. You don't really do that. Yeah. So for me, I just think with Bellingham that he's going to get a lot of time on the ball. He's going to get a little bit of freedom to move on the ball. And I think it'll find it easier to settle than Jack Grealish in terms of on the football pitch and doing his thing. But he's not going to play his best football for years. He's 20 years old. He's not going to be in his peak until, basically 2030. That's factual information.
That's grim, though, when you say that. It is right, though. You are right in what you're saying. And people, I think people just need to give these players time, man, especially when they're coming into a Pep Guardiola side. It'd be interesting, though. And obviously, with such raw talent like that, because how young he is, I think working under Pep Guardiola must be something that he must want to work under Pep, bro. he must want to get that. Do you know what I mean? That experience, because Pep will make him a better player, 100%.
Agreed.
TJ with a 10, so I still think his potential is overrated. City have walked away from many transfers. If he moves to City, I'll back him, but I won't lose sleep if he doesn't. Other young players offer more out there.
I don't think his potential is overrated. I think he has the potential to be a Ballon d'Or winner. I think he has the potential to be the best midfielder in the world. I think he has that potential. So I don't think his potential is overrated. Is he overrated now, as a footballer, right now at this very second? Probably, yeah. Probably right now he's probably overrated. But his potential isn't overrated, not in my personal opinion. Anyway, TJ. And there are good players out there. Look, I think McAllister would be an easier fit for Manchester City. I think get McAllister and he's cheaper than Bellingham. I think he'd come in and I think he'd slot into the team better than Jude Bellingham. And I think that he would maybe in the short term possibly be better for Manchester City. But he ain't going to be the best midfielder in the world. He's never going to win the Ballon d'Or. He's never going to be that number one midfielder. And that's what you could get with Jude Bellingham.
Hence
that's the prize. That's the prize, man. That's why you get him. You know what I mean? That's the prize.
It's the risk, but it's a risk that
of course.
That's what you take in football, isn't it? You take those risks. Robert with a 2 says, do you think Jude is like Gundo and Bernardo level?
I think he's completely different to Bernardo.
Yeah, he's different to Bernardo. I think he'd come into the side, though, and I think he'd be playing straight away. I don't think he'd have to wait to see Jude Bellingham play. I think he'd come straight in. In an ideal world, if we do sign Bellingham, it'd be nice to have Gundo there for at least another year. I think it'd ease the transition a lot better.
I think right now, as a player, Gundogan is better than Jude Bellingham.
But the longevity of obviously Jude Bellingham is what you're getting.
Correct. And what level can Jude Bellingham reach?
Yeah, how long will it take him to get to that Gundo level? Do you know what I mean? It might not take him that long to get to that Gundo level, to the point where he then surpasses that into like the realms of the Ballon d'Or world. Do you know what I mean? If he does that in 5 years, he's only 25. What is that? You know, it's just like Haaland, bro. Haaland. How is Haaland only 22 years old?
And you got to look, bro. We're building a team for the future, man.
Yeah, Alvarez, Haaland, Jude Bellingham, Sergio Gomez,
Foden.
Yeah, Phil Foden.
Diaz is only 24. People forget that.
Yeah,
People think Ruben Diaz is like a 70-year-old. Nah, he's 24, man. John Stones is still like 28, 29, 30. He's still got a few years left in him.
Jack Grealish is 27, is he?
Yeah, Edison's going to be in this team until probably 2035. Do you know what I mean? Like, this team is got youth behind it, and that's what they're going for. They're going for these class youth players, and yeah, man, it's working out right now. It really is.
Fraser in the chat just says Guardiola in summer. Did we get some Guardiola news the other day saying that it's off?
Not necessarily off, but basically they're coming out and saying
they're full chest in it that they're not selling him in it.
Yeah, but again, you put 100 million quid on the table.
And push comes to shove.
And he's going to say, I want to leave.
Yeah.
Don't sell him. Don't sell him.
Fahad again with a 729. Yes, it's Fahad. He says, JB needs City more than City needs JB. I don't know how. Because we do need a midfielder.
No, I hear what he's
I get what he's saying.
I think I agree. I think what he means is like Jude needs City, and maybe the correct thing there actually is Pep Guardiola, for him to reach those levels that we spoke about. But City don't really need Jude Bellingham to reach the levels that we require. Yeah. Like, we could go and get McAllister and we'd be fine.
We'd still do well.
But for Jude, maybe to want to get to that top level, maybe he needs City, maybe he needs Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, basically. So, Jude, if you're watching this and you want a Ballon d'Or, mate, come join City.
You have to join City. You're not going to get it anywhere else.
Nowhere else in the world. It has to be Manchester City. If you want eternal happiness, it has to be Manchester City. If you want a good football career, Manchester City, please. I put a poll in the chat because a lot of people have different opinions on this, of whether we should sign, or whether people want to sign Bellingham, or they want City to sign Bellingham. 85% of people have said yes, now gone down to 84, which is no surprise. I thought it'd be quite heavy on the yes side of it. But it's interesting that out of 223 votes, 15% of people are still going with no. So there are people that just don't want Jude, and they don't rate it.
I think them people probably are unhappy about the price.
I think it's. I think so. Because that's the only thing that I go down to. But look, if the price was cheaper, he'd be playing for Liverpool. That's basically it. If the price is cheaper, he's playing for Liverpool because he chooses Liverpool and goes there. But they can't afford it. But it is a hefty price to be paying for someone, and it's the biggest price we've ever paid for a player. So there's a lot of pressure riding on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just hopefully it pays off, and the potential comes true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a mad situation. And yeah, looking like Liverpool are out of the transfer race for Jude Bellingham. Seemingly, they can't afford the deal, and they need multiple players. And if they get Jude Bellingham, even if they can afford it, which I'm sceptical of anyway, then they're not going to be able to sign anyone else, and that would be bad for Liverpool. So I actually think that Liverpool are making the correct decision. I'm not saying that because I want Bellingham. I do want Bellingham, but I'm not desperate for him. You know what I mean? I'd be quite happy if we signed McAllister. I actually think McAllister would be better for Manchester City in the short term. So I'm not desperate for it. I'm saying that as a genuine opinion. I think this is the correct move from Liverpool. I think Liverpool have to think about themselves and how to best improve that team rather than just go for Jude Bellingham because he could be a future star. They're not in a position to sign future stars. They were in a position to sign future stars like Jude Bellingham a few years ago when they were getting 95 points and they were winning the Premier League and they won the Champions League. That's the time to strike. The time to strike and spend your whole budget on a midfielder who's largely unproven in the Premier League and is still a bit of a gamble is not now when you're, eighth? And your whole midfield is in crisis. Your defence is being questioned. You know what I mean? Your attackers, Salah, question marks over him. Punez, question marks over his.
Surely next season they can't be like full sending into like big games with Milner and Hendo in the mid.
Well, that's it.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
if they only sign Bellingham, bro.
You only sign Bellingham, then you're going with Bellingham, Hendo, aren't you? Or like, do you know what I mean? Whoever it is, Thiago. But I just think they, and like you said, they're doing the right thing. They want to do that. They want to do that. Liverpool do want to move in that direction of signing more than one player and going for rebuild mode rather than invest in one player and hope he becomes good. Fortunately for us right now, we're not in rebuild mode. We're in with the luxury of being able to say, right, we want to sign Jude Bellingham, and then if both Bernardo are going to leave, right, we'll have a look for another midfielder and go for like that, rather than full rebuild of the team.
Yeah. Now he's back to Punez now, isn't it? Liverpool done their job. You know what I mean? I give him a day.
Yeah.
I give him a day, you know what I mean? They got a good result on Sunday. In fact, I give him 2 days because I don't think I called him Punez on Monday or Tuesday. So I give him 2 days. He's now firmly back to Punez. We move now, you know?
Yeah.
We've
done that a bit. I mean,
friendship was 2 days. That was too long anyway.
Yeah,
so
it's too long.
It's
the most disgusting part was celebrating the Liverpool goal. I was gassed, me. When that Liverpool equaliser went in, I was like, yes, fucking buzzing. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, but it's just big for the title, isn't it? It's big for the title.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Listen, there we go. Jude Bellingham. I'm pretty sure that we'll get news on this now within the next few days.
Well, decision imminent. So I reckon it could be literally tomorrow. Could be any time.
Yeah, it's going to be a madness. So stay tuned, man. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell in it because, like I say, 48 hours, I reckon something's going to come out about this, about what happened. And maybe this is false news. Maybe this is not right. Maybe this journalist has got it wrong and everyone's just jumped on the bandwagon. Maybe that is what happens, but we'll find out in the next couple of days, in my opinion. Join us tomorrow morning, where hopefully we can get Hugh on and we can have a conversation about last night. We'll do the player ratings midday to get people can go on the lunch break and all that. Do the player ratings in midday. Yeah, and then we'll just full send it, man. Full send it. Loads of shit coming, man. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button if you've not done so already. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, bro.
That's it, innit? Jude, Liverpool out.
Very successful evening. Guys, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one. See you later.
See you later.